Wrestling fans, joining me on a special edition of Strong Style is my guest at this time. He is the crown jewel. He is Pat Roach. How are you, bud?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Luckily, we all survived the great freeze of late January.
Yeah, snow Armageddon, Snowmageddon.
Yeah,
Uh, Came in supposed to be like a roaring lion and went out with a whimper. So
which is good. I appreciate that it did that. It allowed me to do so many things this weekend.
yeah, yeah, same.
But it is good to finally have you on the show. I know we have actually never spoken much at either of these shows. We tend to be in opposite sides of the arena at the end of it, but I see you at Premiere. I know you're at Southern Fried. What other places are you at?
Um, I'm in and out at Premiere whenever I can get there. Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, Viral Wrestling,
Viral.
and a lot of things coming this year. Southern Wrestling League starting up in Macon. I will be, I think it's maybe Warner Robins. I'm so sorry. Um, I just found out I'll be in the main event for the inaugural heavyweight champion there in March.
Nice.
So a lot of irons in the fire, but creatively, haven't gotten debuted yet. Also, injuring my knee has kind of kicked the can down the road on a few things, but all good things will come to those who wait. So just going to be a good year.
I agree with that. Going to be a fantastic year. You brought it up. I was going to bring it up later. Um, First off, how is the knee?
Getting better every day. Um, haven't really had an injury like this. Kind of dedicated my life to wrestling. Whether it was Greco-Roman or catch a sketch can or pro style wrestling, for the most part, other than the normal uh, aches and pains, I never really had an injury. So this one is slow. I've just been told that I have to be patient. No tear that they believe. So it's just time. But every day I feel small improvements. So
And then, rumor has it that you actually injured it during was it the Crusade attack that you injured it?
yes, in the main event of the last Southern Fried show, um, I was delivering a splash to Hunter James, and when I did that, I felt my left knee implode. It kind of went in on
Mm.
itself. And yeah, so it's just part of the business.
That being said, I know I'm going to bring up the list later that you wrote earlier this year, but he is one you still want to get a piece of, if not a bigger piece now because of this, right? You feel like he had something to do with hurting your knee.
I would say that I was willing to sacrifice a knee to prove a point to him, and I'm willing to sacrifice more than a knee to finish a story with him.
So what you're saying is he may have a lot more time for a book tour than being in the ring soon.
Absolutely, I would say that. Yeah, this is just something that entertains him, and this is my life. So a knee is nothing. I'll sacrifice another one.
I mean, you do have two knees. I totally understand that.
Have to. So yeah.
Now, as I said, not only besides Southern Fried, I usually see you at premiere shows when you're on those. I have been on record saying what I'm about to say. Truth be told, as part of the committees that I was a part of for the award, this was one of the hills I was willing to die on as well. Um, I feel like when you and Big Strong Mims squared off, I believe it was in September, it is one of the not only the best match I saw last year live in person. It might be one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. Kind of how did that go about? Now I know you obviously we'll get into you had to win a match to get into that match, but kind of how did that all come about, and what did you feel about the match?
So the came about the a person that one of the producers with Premiere that also has ties with the NWA. Um, excuse me. All right, sorry about that. So one of the producers that helps book the show and everything with the with Premiere also had ties with the NWA, and he's like, "Look, we got to get some some good matches with our national heavyweight champion. So would you be interested in pursuing this and possibly getting this match?" And as someone who loves the history of the sport, I was willing to go all in to achieve that, and was fortunate and blessed enough and thankful for the opportunity and wrestle and had the opportunity to wrestle for one of the most historic championships the sport had. So I was very honored to be there.
Yeah, like I said, it was by far the best match I saw last year. I wish it would have gotten bigger consideration, but I think enough people didn't see it.
Mhm.
Which was that's a whole different can of worms about figuring out better ways to have clips that people can watch so they can see things like that. But of course, when you're at Premiere, you are oftentimes accompanied to the ring by the good pastor and friend of the show, hopefully future guest, Donald Jakes. How did you guys kind of cross paths and what led to that partnership?
And so Jakes and I met at Coastal Empire Wrestling in Savannah, and they put me with him down there, which translated that I was a part of the ministry up at Premiere, and we just hit it off, man. He's a great mind for the business. He's a joy to be around. He's someone you can, just bounce ideas off of, and he has a great ability to kind of put them through the wash and go, well, I don't think that'll work, or I like this, but what if we did this? So he's just really someone that more people, rather than in a role out in front where the world can see, he's really someone that more people should throw ideas off of because he's a huge asset and he's a great guy.
Absolutely, and that leads to my first fan question. The good pastor has a question for you, and he says, uh, "Do you want him to save you a plate from the potluck? Sister Michelle brought her banana pudding."
Um, Thank you. I will have to pass. I don't necessarily eat potlucks
Ah,
because what I consider to be a clean home, not everybody has the same standard of cleanliness. So respectfully, I will have to pass. Good pastor.
there you go. Uh, but Donald, if you want to save me one, I'll be by later to pick that up because that sounds fantastic. Good Southern cooking, gotta love it.
Yeah.
We actually, like I said before we started here, we got quite a bit of questions, so I'm going to kind of intermingle these as we go along. Um, let's see here. Um, Bill Blanchard wants to know, what do you do for conditioning to get ready for a wrestling match?
Well, my background prior to being trained to be a professional wrestler was Greco-Roman wrestling and catch-as-catch-can wrestling. So I know that a little on the bigger side, but I do jog a lot, and I do probably about 100 Hindu squats a day before
Mm,
the injury.
yeah,
So that was really what I would do for cardio, well, to just condition, get myself up. Yeah,
that's fair enough. That's nothing. I didn't think it would be anything too elaborate. There's no DVDs you're following along with or nothing. It's just basics that work.
right. No, just like burpees, Hindu squats, or for people who don't know what a Hindu squat is, just body squats, and just probably jogging for about 10 to 20 minutes, you know, at a time every day. Again, that was before the knee injury,
Yeah,
but that's just everybody's doing something in this sport, man. Like, you can't go out there and just blow up, and
right.
you your booking's going to drop off. You just keep going out there and blowing up. So, yeah,
Yep.
got to.
Because trust me, fans, you will. you know what a blown up wrestler looks like. You just maybe didn't know it when you were looking at them. You can tell when they look wiped out.
Yeah, and legs are key. Legs will be the first thing to go. So you got to train legs, whether it's again, just with my background, I live and breathe off the Hindu squats. Just if you can keep going, you're not going to blow up. So
Agree. I need to add those back. I'm gonna write that down right now. I need to add those back to mine. I was having an injury recently too,
that's
and just
free,
are starting to get back jogging a little bit. So the Hindu squats are back.
free advice from the crown
There
jewel.
you go.
Yeah,
There you go. Great advice as well. I mentioned Big Strong Mims, who is a part of the NWA, and you've actually done some work with the NWA. We're not going to get into the extent of it because not really public knowledge, but you've had a pretty big part of recently of the tapings when they were here in Atlanta. Kind of how did that come about? And then my follow up is why haven't they put you on tour?
um, well, going on tour would be nice. That came about again through just contacts that I have
Hmm.
in Georgia wrestling that are that just happen to be near and dear, not friends but family to me, and it just worked out that I guess they were just impressed with the match, trusted me that I could come to a show and then deliver, um, and also just opportunities like that come by just uh, being a decent human being. So
It helps. It helps. Whether people like you or not, just be a nice person. Like be a good person. Not necessarily a nice person. Be a good person.
just be a good person. I would really like to name drop them, but I don't believe in pulling back the curtain. But so far, so
Nope.
that if
I
they're going to know who they are, and I love you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I would try to interrupt you if not, because that is one of the few agreements I have with Premier is to not mention the people you are talking about.
Right.
And I've known those guys for a long time, so I the Premier guys, so I will stand by that agreement. Let's see. Let me get back into a fan one. I'll have to pull up the list to get to that. Well, we'll go into that. Lisa Silvers Davis wants to know. Shout out to Lisa. How are you, Lisa? Who is the wrestler or wrestlers that you want to go against that you have never?
That I have never. Um, Two come
Because
to
you
my
made a list earlier this year.
yes, yeah, I did. That list came out of trying to be creative and not get in my own head about being hurt and being on the sideline. It's going,
Hmm.
well, I've got to make every day better. How do I get better? And what is my goal? And if I can't name one, I got to name two. It's 1A, 1B. Um, Two matches based out of respect. Um, I want to get in the ring with Joe Black, and I want to get in the ring with Nick Halen. So, again,
That I don't know if you caught part of. I was part of that panel that had Joe Black on a couple weeks ago.
great.
That was one of the most interesting talks I have ever been a part of, and that is the most words I have ever heard Joe Black say in one sitting.
Well, here's the thing, man. Joe's a good guy. If he likes you, he'll talk.
Yeah,
But at the same time, if Joe doesn't have nothing to say, Joe just doesn't have nothing to say. So, but great human being, and
yes.
just out of the pure sportsmanship, I've been in the ring with Joe, but there were always tag matches when I was in Donald Jake's ministry against the hierarchy at Premier.
Hmm.
But a uh, one-on-one, I would love an opportunity to work with Joe, and just out of sheer respect, um, he's kind of one of the benchmarks in
Hmm.
East. Not much so much Georgia is Nick Halen, and I have a lot of respect for him. But just out of pure sportsmanship and the old catch wrestler that I am, when I see someone that can go, I want a piece of that. I want to see, if you're the better man, I'll shake your hand, but I want to see, you know.
I agree with that. And I think out of just just the pure competitive nature of both of them that even if you happen to be on the same sides of the coin, if the opportunity did present itself, I feel like both would say, "All right, let's do this."
I would hope so. I would think so. I would think so. There's a lot of mutual respect there. Um, but I think so too.
All right, let's see. Let's go to Ben Childress, who says, "Boy, this one's going to make my head hurt." Um, who is your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling heels?
Oof, the Mount Rushmore. Okay, so right off the top of my head, um, I got to go Roddy Piper, Harley Race,
Mm.
Ric Flair, and for his run from 97 through 2000, 2001, Vince McMahon.
Oh,
From the
yeah.
screw with Brett through what he did with Steve Austin,
Hmm.
not a good worker at all. That doesn't matter. It's about drawing money. And what he was able to do there in that time frame, you can't touch him. So I would have to say that's my Mount Rushmore.
Very underrated run by Vince there. That a lot of people, like you said, he may not be the best in ring guy, but he might be one of the biggest personalities of that whole generation. Forget just the era, because the Attitude Era was only a handful of years long if you really look at it. But yeah, I think I always had the theory that when him and Brett cross paths, and whether you think he screwed Brett or not, that's on you. The evidence is out there. Pick the side you want to be. I think that turned on a light bulb to Vince that he could be that on-screen heel, because before then he hadn't done a whole lot of on-screen stuff. But at that point, he realized, look at everybody. Look at everybody suddenly wants to see what I'm going to do, and that they didn't know I was capable of this.
Right.
I might could do something. And then along steps in The Rock and Stone Cold and all them to perfectly play against him. And like you said, that's a masterful run.
It was a great run. And this sport business is based on getting over and making
Mm-hmm.
and what's Hogan without Piper? What is Ric Flair without Harley Race at first? What is Sting without Ric Flair? And what
Yep.
is Austin without McMahon? You
Mm-hmm.
know, I would venture to say that, Rock Austin, that's an all-time rivalry, but
Sure.
Austin McMahon, that's the money. That was money. So that's why he's on there. So
Yep.
now as soon as we
Absolutely.
put the button in and say I might think of someone else, I'm like, ah, god dang it, should have said that. Yeah. But
This was as of a random Tuesday late in January, that's the four you come up with off the top of your head.
yeah.
Not keeping you to them, but I was about, yeah, that those rivalries remind me of, on a different podcast, or if somebody wants to catch me at a wrestling show and you have 20 minutes of your life you don't want back, I can get into my theories about Batman and Joker, and how they need each other, that it doesn't work without the other one. But that's totally different podcast. Maybe that other wrestling podcast can have me on, because they always have the comic books behind them. Maybe they want to have that debate one day. But
That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
like I said, it gets way too deep into it. I trust me. But of course, we have the crown jewel Pat Roach on right now, talking all kinds of things throughout his career, and obviously the rehab off the. A lot of people didn't know you were injured, because I mentioned that to even some media people I know, and they said, injured, and I was like, yes, and I told them what had happened and all that, and I guess you played it off pretty well, but uh, now you got the rehab and everything. Is there a target date ahead, or are you just taking it day by day?
Well, I'm taking it day by day, honestly, because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
Right.
I, I'm a pretty private person, but the only reason why I went and said something publicly is because, I had immediate dates that I was supposed to be making, and there was no way my knee was going to allow it.
No.
And I tried to be the most professional. in terms of no matter what, if you're booked, sort of a kid getting sick or someone dying in your life, you have to be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did reach out to a few promoters and said, listen, I understand and I'm sorry for the inconvenience this causes you, but I'm hurt and I don't know when I can come back. So I have a date in mind. I don't want to say anything publicly because if I can't make it, I don't, again, I don't want to,
Yeah.
but it's getting better. It's getting better. Um, we'll just see. Possibly we'll lose some range of motion or movement in the ring forever. I don't know. Just got to see. But I will be back for sure. I will be back.
Yep. I'm definitely sure that you'll be back. Hopefully at full capacity or dang near close to it. So just want to put those rumors to rest that he did not confirm nor deny that he is the number 28 Royal Rumble competitor this weekend. You never know. That's why you have to watch. Other people are worried about other people. I mean, I can confirm that it's not me. I'm not number 28 at all. But could it be Pat? It could be Pat. Who knows? That's why you should watch these shows. Come to all the indie shows. You don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. I can neither confirm nor deny that I will be at the Royal Rumble.
Absolutely. The lawyers on this show will only let me say I'm not number 28. That's all I could say.
But I would just say, because I'm a firm believer in karma, please don't bet money on that.
And don't bet against that. I don't need DraftKings calling me again about that. It was. I don't know why people thought I was telling something factual. I don't.
Just
I,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. We'll edit that part out. That's what we'll do. But when you're in the ring, part of what I like about what you do in the ring is that I mean it's called throwback, but to me it's called wrestling because I mean a lot of this new age stuff, these moves are really cool, and I like a lot of things going on. But we all grew up on that old NWA, like we were saying before. The Von Erichs, the King Harley races, all those guys that came through that wrestling. Headlock to me reminds me of childhood and watching that kind of stuff. I mean, that being said, you throw just a heck of a lariat. And actually, when you mentioned it to me earlier, the Saito suplex you do is man, it reminds me of New Japan more than it does anything I see on TV in America right now.
Mhm. Well, I appreciate that. So the reason why I wrestle that way is, like I tell people, you got to find what you do well and stay within that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost 6'4", knocking on around 300 pounds. I'm not Will Ospreay. Okay. That's not, but that is, again, that's not my background. And in this sport, in this business, you have to be authentic to yourself. And that's what's going to translate out and make you believable, regardless of what
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And like I said, prior to being a professional wrestler, being Greco-Roman and catch as catch can, I knew all too well, who Farmer Burns and George Hackenschmidt, Frank Gotch and Joe Stecker and Toots Mont and Stu Hart, all these Lou Feds, like these shooters that I was like, well, that is my DNA. So I'm just gonna go do that. And I think when it's done right, when you get in there with someone that does more of I'll say like a modern style, those styles when they can come together, they can sometimes
Mm-hmm.
make for something really good. So
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what makes wrestling great is you can take, it's like MMA, but it's on a different level. That you can take two clashing styles even, and when they come together, they just make this art form that you just can't get anywhere else.
absolutely. Yes.
Let's see. One more question out here, and Bill Blanchard's going to get two in tonight. He had a bunch more, but sorry, Bill, for time wise, we're just going to keep it to two. Uh, which opponent pushes you to your limit or has pushed you to your limit?
Okay. Um, Definitely the first thing that comes to mind is Mims. Um, I'm not used to the reason why that match particularly stands out to me is I don't typically get thrown around.
Right.
don't typically have to take these big bumps. That match was tough to get through. There was a lot. I was giving it to him and he was giving it to me. And that was just one that you had to find that other gear. And the reason why that match came off the way it did is, you know, call it sentimental, whatever, but what was at stake was the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. That those three letters of the NWA and that historic championship deserve nothing but two guys willing to go out there and just lay it all out there. I was willing going into that match. It was like I'm willing to lay it all on the line where if I get hurt and I'll be good with this being it. So that match really pushed me. And then I would definitely say over the long term, the run between the Crusade and the Sexton Alliance and just the multitude of matches that we had where everyone top to bottom can just go. And
Yeah.
if you're not ready, I mean the Adrian Hawkins, Judas, Todd Sexton, it just Bobby Moore, all those guys, that's not a night off. So
No.
that year run, or maybe about a year run that we had, culminating at Shindig, that alone, man, that was tough. That was tough to get through from a physical standpoint because my hat's off there. I don't necessarily like them, but I respect them. Um, they won at Shindig, so the old shoot wrestler that I am, you have to shake their hand, and all of those
Yep.
guys are phenomenal wrestlers, and will they individually or collectively will push you. So that's my long-winded answer. Mims and the Sexton Alliance.
That's that's hard to argue any of those because Mims is a big old boy.
Yeah. And when he picks you up and puts you back down, that's painful.
Yeah, I can. I'm going to take your word for it. I don't ever want to find out for myself. I'll
I
take your word for
hit him. I didn't get as much.
it. Yeah, hitting him just didn't quite feel as much as him hitting you, did it?
I don't know. I haven't asked him. Maybe I'll ask him. But Mims is another one um, that is deserving of where he is. You he approaches this business the right way. He's a true professional in every sense of the word. And whatever comes to him in the future, Mims is deserving of it all. Great human being, great wrestler. Hope to do it again.
I hope so too. And there's a couple rings in mind I would like to see it in, and hopefully those people are watching because it needs to be in those rings.
Yeah.
Um, who either are your influences or who were your influences early on, whether it was before you got into wrestling or as you got into wrestling? Is there somebody that you kind of model yourself after, or you just go, man, I just really like how they got it done?
So anyone who knows me, spends 30 seconds around me knows Harley Race. That's the standard. Harley. Um, Next is Luthez. And the most modern person is Stephen Riggle, William Riggle. Those three are my litmus test right there. Like their in-ring style, the way they carry themselves in the ring, in the back, the way they conduct the business, the way they protected the business. Um, are just three people that, man, if I can just be 1/10 of the type of professional and wrestler that they are and were, then I think maybe I did something right, or maybe I got close. But those three,
That's it's hard to beat that trio. Big fans of all of them here, especially shout out to the Englishman there
hey,
in Regal. Big Regal fan. I've been chomping at the bit to wait and see what his kid's going to turn out as, and haven't got a chance to
and
see that develop yet.
Dempsey he's got something special there. I love his style.
Hmm.
I know the odds are it'll never happen, but I would be honored to get in the ring with him and just have an old school catch as catch can wrestling match with him. That'd be fun.
Promoters forget Pat Roach versus Big Strong Mims 2. I want to see that now. That I will.
Yeah,
My wallet is across the room, but I will pay in advance to see that. I might buy out the first row. I don't know. That is
yeah.
beyond dream match. Can we make that happen?
My DM, just send me a message. Come on, yeah, yeah. That one was fun, and I hope to do it again. I hope to do it again. You know, the fact that that type of trust was put into me, that
Yeah,
I give him a good title defense and see if he can hold on to it, and the fact that the NWA did trust me to come and be a part of
yeah.
something and play a role. Uh, that was a highlight, man. Like, how does for a history guy, how does it get any better? So, center stage for the NWA, and the ring that was used that night was an old WCW ring.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, yes, it was. So, hey, man, like that's it. I've peaked. Yeah, it was a good night, man. I loved it.
Patsy, I can't lie. There was a really good wrestling buddy of mine, and I knew that Georgia wrestling history was already going to be represented there. So I got to go as a fan. First time I got to be a fan in over like 2.5, 3 years. Me and a buddy just went. If you've seen the recent tapings, Alex Misery jumped off the top of an entrance. You can
Yes,
see me just behind him. He was right next to me when he did that. That's where I was. But
that
yeah,
Alex
that's the first.
is kind of familiar. I might,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe I think you might have crossed paths maybe in you might have been the same hallway or something because
Two,
doing work for the NWA, him being the NWA talent. I'm sure you guys met at catering. You might have
oh,
shared a chicken breast and broccoli. It's something.
man, that Lev guy. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know. They look familiar.
yeah. Got to shout that out there. But yeah, that was actually the first time I had ever been to center stage to see wrestling. I have covered MMA. I did other stuff there, so that meant that much to me, and that's why when I knew the NWA was going to be there, I had to be at center stage because I said I've never seen wrestling live at center stage, and that almost takes away my wrestler fandom like card if I don't go see this, and
Yeah.
and they did a spectacular job there.
Just knowing the history that's come through there from a wrestling sense at center stage. Man, I mean, I hate to be cliche, but man, that's the Madison Square Garden of Georgia. Wrestling
It
and
is.
center
It is.
stage. That's
It's
it.
not the Omni. It's not either of the Falcon stadiums. It's not even Turner Field. It's none of that. It's like you said, the MSG of basically the Southeast.
Yeah.
It's center stage.
I mean, let's be honest. It's like the Omni's not around anymore. So you
Nope.
can't go there. The Atlanta City Auditorium's not around anymore. So you can't go there.
Nope.
What's left? You got center stage. And if you just look at the litany of history that's gone through there from our sports perspective, that's the Mecca. That's it. So the
Yep.
fact that I was able to play a small part, hey man, like wrestling was good to me that night.
Absolutely. I would absolutely agree. And as we're finishing up here with the crown jewel, Pat Roach, um, I guess I'll leave it to this. What is what is kind of your maybe you're not I don't want to say final. That sounds like it's the last ever. What is kind of a message you either want to leave the listeners and viewers tonight, or even to maybe some future opponents, whichever direction you want to go with it.
Wow, put me on the spot. So what the thing that I want to put out there is there's a lot of people that love professional wrestling, right? Um, However, you'd be hard pressed. There's a short list of people that love it and respect it the way I do. You um, I just want to take this time and actually, I'm going to pull back the curtain just a little, and just put over the boys. You know, um, The crew at Premier All Star Wrestling is one of the best wrestling companies around, not just in Georgia, period. From top to bottom, from Madman Mason, Stevie Ray Frost,
Yes.
Alex Lev, the list, it just goes on and on and on. The people that book those shows, that they got something special going on out there. AJ Black, I hope that kid has a bright future. I really do. To take it over, Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, man. It's that is about as stacked of a roster as you're going to find. You're not going to find a better wrestler than Nick Halen. I don't like him. I have very little respect for him, but Hunter James, we got our issues that we're going to work out. But same with Dominic Stuckey,
Hmm.
Rosario, Joey Hyder, Bobby Moore, the Flying Fro. It just the list is so expansive. I can't cover it all. But we are very fortunate to wrestle where we wrestle and in the time that we wrestle. You can go down to the south of the state. You got Coastal Empire Wrestling. You got again Flying Fro. You got CT Keys. You got Bryce Cannon. It just keeps going on and on and on. It's hard right now to get ahead because it's so the talent pool is so thick and everyone's fighting for a top spot that they deserve. They really do.
Yeah.
Viral Championship Wrestling in Augusta, Georgia is probably one of the best produced shows you're ever going to find in terms of like footage and the owner and the booker. They bring in the Kazanas and I mean just Drew Hood. The list just goes on and on and on. And I just got to take this time. I'm honored to share the locker room with these people. Um, I saw where like Sal Renaro is up for like mentor of the year. If you're not going to Sal Renaro to say, hey, what
Yeah.
can I do better? What are you doing? You know, it's an honor to be a part of this sport. It's an honor to be a part of this business and share the locker rooms that I do. Um, just remember some of these names. If anyone's listening, remember these names, man. Remember the name Alexander Lev. I'm telling
Yes.
you, you better watch him while you can, because when he's gone, he's gone. Rosario Grillo is another one. That guy's going to be on a pay per view at some point. It's going to happen. Hunter James, don't like you. I'm going to punch you in the mouth as soon as I can see you and I'm well. But he's another one. Like, it's just Nick Halen. Name something he can't do. Name a better technical wrestler than Todd Sexton. It doesn't stop. The list doesn't stop. And I am honored to just be a part of this landscape right now. We're going to look back 30 years from now and go, my God, that was a hot time.
Hmm.
And I'm just honored to be a part of it. That's all I got to say. That's really, I just got to take that time, put over the boys. I hope I didn't leave anyone out. Joe Black, he's another one. He's amazing. I got to put over AWE. They got a show
Yes.
coming, Roar, all female show. That show's going to kill it. That's Murder One. Murder's another one that is a phenomenal mind for this business. Go to that show, support them. Wrestling's in a good place right now. And I'm just honored to call some of these people friends and share a locker room with them. And I hope that there's many more memories to make in times to come.
Absolutely. And I feel like there are tons and tons of those memories coming up for every wrestling fan, but I think for you as well. One thing that is coming up is the end of this show, unfortunately, as we both have to go on our merry way,
Ah,
making the world better,
yeah,
as only we can. But Pat, it has been fantastic having you on tonight. We do need to have more chats, whether they're on this thing or not in the near future. And I would say when you get closer to returning, but I think it'd be more fun if you just randomly show up and maybe a particular guy you mentioned earlier that you might want to punch in the mouth just has to keep looking over his shoulder.
that's coming. That's coming. It's coming. And Mims, I don't know when, I don't know where, but we're going to do it again, my friend.
Yeah, and I don't want to call him Baby Regal, but Dempsey, it's Dempsey. He's coming.
Yeah.
But like I said, appreciate you being on tonight, and we will see you later on down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you. God bless. Take care.
And this has been another great edition of Strong Style. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. We will see you guys next time. Deuces, gooses. Go watch wrestling.